In a world obsessed with perfection, it's often our strangeness that leaves the boldest imprint. This isn't just a story about weird conditions or odd traits. It's about the brilliance of extremes, the grit of the human spirit, and the quiet strength of simply existing beyond normal convention. In this video, we'll be looking at the 15 most disturbing people you won't believe actually exist. And trust us, by the end of this video, you will question what normal or human even means. Number 15. Nick O'Halloran. When you first see Nick balancing on crutches, you might assume he lost his right leg years ago. But the truth cuts far deeper. Nick is fully able-bodied, every limb intact, every muscle working. Yet he carries a longing most people can't even comprehend. He wishes he were an amputee. Nick from Edinburgh lives with BIID, a rare neurological condition where the brain refuses to accept certain body parts as its own. For Nick, his right leg feels foreign, unwelcome, like something that was never meant to be attached. He spends hours practicing life as an amputee, crutches, balance training, imagining a body that matches the one his mind insists is right. And he's not alone. There are others like him, though the condition is rarely discussed openly. Nick isn't trying to shock anyone. He's trying to feel whole, and sometimes wholeness doesn't look the way the world expects. It looks like finally aligning your body with your own identity. Number 14. Shirvani Naran. Shirvani grew up hearing she'd never build a family, never live long, and never make it past. She was born with recessive dystrophic epidermolysis bullosa, one of the most painful and severe forms of EB. Her skin is as fragile as paper, blistering and tearing from the slightest touch. For many with her condition, adulthood is a dream they never reach. But she defied every prediction. Now 39, she's one of the oldest surviving EB patients in South Africa, proving strength doesn't need armor. Every day is a battle, wounds that reopen, infections that threaten, and pain most people can't imagine. But she became a mother anyway. She raised her children with love, humor, and a refusal to surrender. The people who once told her she'd never live a normal life now watch her create her own version, one built on grit, tenderness, and quiet rebellion. Shirvani didn't overcome EB. She learned to live alongside it, and she never let it steal her future. Number 13. Maddie Oxley. Maddie was born already carrying more challenges than most adults ever face: curved spine, missing kidney, fused hand, and a medical file stamped with VATER syndrome. But Maddie didn't fold into the background. He turned his differences into a punchline he controlled. Now 41, he's an aspiring comedian from Middlesbrough who took every stare, every childhood comment, and every hospital memory and turned it into material for the stage. For the past 5 years, he's been performing stand-up, cracking jokes about the very things that once made him feel out of place. He even opened his own comedy club, a space where he decides the narrative instead of being the punchline. Maddie doesn't deny the pain or the medical realities. He just refuses to let them have the last word. Through laughter, he chips away at ignorance and shows people that humor isn't avoidance. It's coping. It's courage. And for Maddie, it's proof that difference are good. Number 12. Aiden Godoy. 8-year-old Aiden from Naples doesn't just dream of becoming a basketball star. He's building his own path toward it, step by unique step. Born with proximal femoral focal deficiency, Aiden's right leg didn't form properly. Doctors recommended amputation, but his parents had a different vision. They chose rotationplasty, a bold surgery that turned his lower leg and foot 180 degrees, using his ankle as a new knee. His foot now sits backward, functioning where his knee once was. Sounds intense? It is. But Aiden doesn't focus on what's missing. He's too busy mastering jump shots, tearing through trails on his family's ATV, and learning how to swim like a pro. Where others might see limitations, Aiden sees a challenge worth tackling. He doesn't want sympathy. He wants a basketball in hand, a court under his feet, and a future full of nothing but possibility. One look at him, and you'll see it. This unique kid isn't slowing down for anyone. Number 11. Jaza Gary. Model Jaza from Fayetteville doesn't just turn heads on runways. She challenges how people define beauty altogether. Born with lamellar ichthyosis, a genetic condition that causes her skin to shed every 10 to 12 days, Jaza grows a protective layer that creates a scale-like texture. She calls herself a victor, not a victim, and she means it. Casting agents clearly see it too. She's landed major campaigns with brands like Target and continues breaking ground in an industry that rarely makes room for faces like hers. In New York during Fashion Week, she produced her first shoot with Glamour UK, bringing a vibrant 70s-inspired concept to life with a full team behind her. Watching her work is watching someone fully at home in their skin, literally and emotionally. Jaza isn't asking for acceptance. She's showing why she deserves it. Her journey isn't about fitting in. It's about carving a place where her beauty stands on its own terms. Number 10. Ann Jenkins. Ann Jenkins has spent years fighting a condition most people have never heard of, and it's called hyperkeratotic head and neck malassezia dermatosis. The painful growths on her face and neck aren't just physically harsh, they've changed the way strangers look at her and the way she sees herself. Living in London, Ontario, she discovered that the Canadian government wouldn't fund the treatment she needed, even though the same therapy had successfully cured 2 other cases before hers. That denial cut deeper than the condition itself. But when her story hit a local newspaper, something shifted. Donations began pouring in from strangers who simply wanted to help her breathe a little easier. With those funds, she was finally able to pursue private treatment. That was 15 years ago, and since then, public updates have faded away. Today, very little is known. What remains is the memory of a woman who pushed through shame, pain, and bureaucracy just to reclaim her face and her place in the world. Number 9. Veronica Sider. Veronica Sider didn't just have good eyesight, she had superhuman vision. Born in Germany, her eyes could spot detail at 20 times the range of the average person. As a child, she could read license plates from blocks away, identify faces far beyond normal distance, and even notice the individual pixels on a TV screen. People thought she was making it up, until scientists tested her. The results were jaw-dropping. Veronica's eyes worked with an almost inhuman level of sharpness. She once identified figures walking on distant hills that others swore were empty. Her optic nerves weren't just sharper, they were wired differently altogether. Despite multiple studies, science never fully explained how her brain processed images with such precision. Veronica didn't use tools, lenses, or enhancements. It was just her, raw, natural ability, miles ahead of everyone else. She didn't see the world the way we do. She saw more. Number 8. Razia Begum. This woman from Bangladesh has lived nearly 20 years with a condition that has taken over her life. Her right leg has swollen to nearly 60 kilograms. The swelling began shortly after the birth of her second daughter and slowly grew until movement became nearly impossible. Doctors suspect elephantiasis, a lymphatic disorder often linked to parasitic infection, where blocked drainage causes limbs to expand to unimaginable sizes. But so far, no full diagnosis, no confirmed plan, no surgery, nothing concrete. Razia is now mostly bedridden, relying on her family for every basic need. Sitting, shifting, or moving even an inch requires several people to help her. She can't work, can't contribute around the home, can't do the things she once took for granted. Her story has surfaced across news outlets, but without medical documentation or real intervention, she remains in limbo. Her life is a reminder of how people with rare illnesses often slip through the cracks when healthcare is limited, distant, or simply unreachable. She is unique. Number 7. Anyang Deng. Anyang is impossible to ignore, and that's the point. Born in South Sudan and raised in Australia, she's now a global modeling sensation, known for her impossibly dark skin, towering height, and unwavering pride. But her journey wasn't glamorous at first. She faced bullying, colorist hate, and ignorant comments online. Some told her to bleach. Others said she'd never make it. But Anyang didn't dim her light. She turned it into a spotlight. Dubbed the Black Barbie, she leaned into her uniqueness and started rewriting beauty standards, one photo at a time. Her viral TikToks and Instagram posts radiate confidence, art, and rebellion. One video racked up over 22 million views. She reminds her followers that South Sudanese beauty is powerful, royal, and worth celebrating. Today, she stands not just as a model, but as a movement. Anyang isn't chasing anyone's approval. She's here for the girls told they were too dark to shine. Number 6. Hang Myoku. Hang was once admired in South Korea for her gentle beauty. She had the kind of face that turned heads, and a career in singing and modeling to match. But her growing obsession with cosmetic perfection took a tragic turn. After countless procedures, doctors refused to continue operating. They warned her, one more surgery could destroy everything. Hang couldn't accept that. She took matters into her own hands, injecting industrial-grade silicone into her cheeks, and eventually cooking oil. The damage was instant and irreversible. Her face swelled dramatically, hardening and warping beyond recognition. Public reaction was brutal. But when her story surfaced, something changed. Strangers donated money to help. Surgeons were able to remove some of the foreign material, but much of it was permanently fused. Today, Hang lives quietly, a haunting reminder of how the pursuit of beauty, left unchecked, can turn into its opposite. Her face may have changed, but her story remains a lesson in knowing when enough is enough. Number 5. Portia Cena. Portia Cena lives with skin that never stops healing. Born with ichthyosis confetti, one of the rarest skin conditions in the world, her skin sheds 10 to 14 times faster than normal, leaving behind red patches and tiny white spots like flecks of paint. People ask if she's sunburned. She's not. She's always looked this way. Her younger brother has the same condition. From the beginning, her family worked with top dermatologists and organizations like the First Foundation to understand what they were facing. Still, growing up wasn't easy. Stares, whispers, and awkward questions followed her everywhere. But things changed in middle school. She found friends who saw her, not her skin. One video she made on TikTok explaining her condition hit 13 million views. That moment, it gave her purpose. Now heading to the Savannah College of Art and Design to study animation, Portia's goal isn't to be defined by her skin, but to create, educate, and live without hiding. She's not a headline. She's a whole story. Number 4. Kia Brazil. Kia Brazil's life changed in a single afternoon. Severe stomach pain spiraled into septic shock, 3 heart attacks, and doctors telling her family to say goodbye. She survived, but the infection cost her fingers and both legs. At 33, Kia had every reason to break. Instead, she rewrote the story. Using prosthetic legs and her wheelchair, she rebuilt her independence piece by piece. Cleaning her home, raising her kids, cooking meals, she refused to let anyone label her disabled. Kia chose the word able because she lives it daily. One of the first things she did after leaving the hospital was sit for a photo shoot, reclaiming her body in front of a camera. Modeling became more than a hobby. It became her message. Her presence tells kids and adults alike that beauty doesn't vanish when life gets hard. It adapts. It evolves. Kia's not posing for sympathy. She's posing for representation. Because if she can rise from the unthinkable, anyone can. Number 3. Adrienne Louis. Adrienne doesn't just stick out, she sticks her tongue out proudly. Born in Michigan, she's made jaws drop across the internet with a tongue that measures nearly 4 inches long. It's not just freakishly flexible, it's show-stopping. It's her party trick. What most people would hide, she turned into a platform. TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, her tongue's been everywhere, and people can't get enough. But Adrienne's not some sideshow act. She's chasing the Guinness World Record, aiming to surpass the current 9.75 centimeters held by Chanel Tapper. Close? She's right there. What started as a quirk has become a calling. Adrienne uses humor, confidence, and pure talent to remind people that the strangest parts of us are often the most unforgettable. She leaned into what made her different, and it paid off in clicks, fans, and fierce self-respect. Whether she breaks the record or not, one thing's clear. Adrienne doesn't bite her tongue. She uses it. Number 2. Jason Brott. Jason Brott doesn't just perform, he confronts reality with force. Born with sacral agenesis, he has no arms. His hands are fused directly to his shoulders. But instead of retreating, Jason stepped into the spotlight, becoming a sideshow performer in the Hell's a Poppin' circus. His acts aren't gimmicks, they're jaw-dropping feats of grit. Spikes through the nose, lying on beds of nails, Jason built his identity on defying expectations. Off stage, he's no less impressive. He runs his own tattoo shop, Ink Impressions, in Maryland, and is also a musician. With zero apologies and nothing filtered, he lives entirely on his own terms. His story was featured in Born Different. But don't get it twisted. He's not here for shock value. Jason is showing the world that limitation is perception, not fact. He doesn't need sympathy or soft language. He just needs space. And through every act, every tattoo, every note of music, he's claiming it. Let's end this with Number 1. Amare Stover. This young guy from Decatur was born with NF1 type 1, which, as we know, causes tumors to form on nerves. He started showing up early, especially on his face, changing how he looked, and eventually how he breathed and saw. He's blind in his left eye and can barely see from his right. His mom, Candy, did what any fighter would. She launched a GoFundMe called Hope and Faith for Amare and Family to raise money for surgeries and everyday care. There's no cure, and tumors keep coming back, sometimes too risky to touch. He's been called a monster by kids who didn't understand, and honestly, that kind of pain doesn't go away easily. Still, Amare pushes forward. His story's been shared in the news across social media, but most of it lives quietly at home. Through it all, his family keeps showing up, keeps fighting, and keeps reminding the world. He's not a tragedy. He's a warrior who deserves real help. If you found this video interesting, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later.